We are here at the Sandy Bar Flea Market, and boy, is this crowd excited! I'm joined here with the undisputed daily flotation Q&A podcast, the Big D himself, Daily Solutions. Big D, how are you feeling about tonight's upcoming question?
Well, let me tell you something, Mean G. It doesn't matter what tonight's question is, brother. It's gonna be the answer that's the problem that you're gonna have to tackle, dude. The answer for the Daily Solution podcast is what brings the power to the solution maniacs, brother.
Very good. Now, Big D, other podcasters have said that you succeed solely based on the flashiness of your intros. How do you feel about that critique?
Let me tell you something, dude. Those other podcasters are just jealous, brother. The flashiness of our intros is just a smidge of what you're about to experience with the solutions.
Now, any last words to all of those solution maniacs watching out there right now?
Let me tell you something, solution maniacs that sitting there listening at home. Don't forget to say your prayers, eat your vitamins, and take a healthy dose of floating. That Epsom and magnesium is magical, brother. Yeah!
Big D. And there you have it. For tonight's main event, the Big D will be providing solutions to your questions. Stay tuned later. All right. Hello, everyone. We are once again joined by Derek Wyatt.
Oh, yeah.
Who does a lot of marketing for us over at Float On and is also one of the heads of Float Tank Solutions. And Ashkan is taking a little break from podcasting to spend some more time working on the upcoming Float Conference in August. So today's question is centered around some marketing, which is another center in my town did a cool social media campaign. Awesome. How do I do something like they did without seeming like I'm just copying them? The old copycat syndrome.
Don't copy them.
Well, don't rip off people's brilliant ideas and pass them off as your own. Yeah, that's pretty much how you do that.
All right, and that's the episode there.
Yeah, I guess any initial thoughts on that one? Because obviously, I mean, you do. Like, you see all kinds of things that other businesses are doing, and in the world is, I don't know, in normal business, it feels like if you see a bar that has a clever A-frame outside of it,
right,
and then you steal that idea, it's like, whatever, there's a million bars around and stuff. And in the world of floating, it being so small and tight-knit, I feel like there's this bigger barrier to just being able to immediately take and use someone else's idea without feeling a little bad about it.
Well, and taking something from somebody in your own town definitely is a bigger no-no than, let's say, somebody across the country that you liked their idea and you just reached out to them and go, hey, that was really cool. Do you mind if I do something similar? And I think that's perfectly fine because the only people who are going to notice are the people in the float industry who follow everybody's Facebook page anyways. Yeah. So I think in that realm, you know, it's okay to do something like that. But if somebody in your town did something awesome, you're like, damn, I wish I would have had that idea. What do you do? And I think you might want to take a step back and like see where they got that idea. Chances are, if it's something cool on social media, they probably got that idea from a business that was not floating related. Maybe they saw a bar going, that's pretty clever. How can I wrap that into my floating business? And that's probably why you thought it was cool, is because it was so cool. They saw it passed around the internet and they go, I'll try to bend that to my business. And that's where a lot of like the kind of the coolness factor comes from, is that kind of mimetic, this is really nice, I want to share it with others.
Yeah, that is a good point. It is very likely, in fact, that the great idea that you saw in your hometown was not actually original when that center did it.
Pretty much.
I would still say, I mean, I always skip to asking for permission. You know, like if you see something cool, there's no harm in just emailing the Float Center and being like, hey, I thought that was really cool. Do you mind if I steal that?
And we don't really have any details in this question on what was the cool thing, but I mean, if there is something that's a differentiating factor about your center that you can spin into this kind of modified ripoff, then maybe do that. Like what sets your center apart from theirs? Maybe you do something very similar to what they did, but then put your own flavor on it. Not a direct image for image, wording for wording copy, but make it your own.
Right. So let's just assume for the sake of simplicity that it's some kind of free float giveaway motivated by comments of some sort. You know, that's the kind of social media thing that they're doing just to kind of make it more concrete. So in this case, you're saying, well, maybe figure out something that ties directly into the things you're trying to accomplish with your specific center that ties into the giveaway, or maybe figure out if it was like, hey, comment with your own float story about how floating's changed your life and we'll give away some free floats. Maybe you, on the other hand, say, oh, we'll do this other thing and leave some comments about you doing it and we'll be giving away free floats. Like, it doesn't need to be just a direct, almost point for point copy of what you were watching.
And you can often use that great idea as a jumping off point to make something better, perhaps. You can take those elements and then wrap more elements into it. So let's look at the giveaway idea. The giveaway idea is probably not the example of that awesome thing I want to copy.
Yeah.
But, if it was something like that and then you turned it into a scavenger hunt in your town, whereas the previous float center just did like my page and 10 people out of 100 will win a float or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you say, okay, like this page to follow details for upcoming things to look for in the town, and when you find those things, then you can turn them in for a free float. So maybe taking the idea of a giveaway and adding more elements to it is kind of how you play off of the other center's idea and then make it your own and better.
Sure, it's almost like a cover song.
Yeah.
Or something at that point, like you're using the chords and lyrics that someone else came up with, but it's totally in your own style and might not even ultimately be recognizable as the same song when it comes out the other end.
An extra long tribute to that middle section of the song.
Yeah. And so there's if you don't want to offend the other center in town, there's A, figuring out if they even came up with the idea originally, B, just asking them for permission, C, kind of changing the idea enough that it's not a direct copy, in which case they can't really be offended.
And if they had a great idea, great, let them have that great idea. Work on your own great ideas. So, do that. Follow other influential small businesses in your town that somehow got buzz, even though they don't have a big budget. See if you can kind of, again, spin it towards something floating, or even better, other businesses outside of your town. Start following small businesses all around to see what everybody's doing to try and get the word out and see something that inspires you and go for it.
Yeah, that is very true. Don't have one-itis. Like, just because you saw something cool that happened to be done in your town doesn't mean that's the only marketing idea. I mean, if you spent an hour going out and just perusing other, not even float centers, but just other businesses, Facebook pages and social media pages, and kept a little notebook handy, you'd probably come up with a couple dozen ideas just in that short time that you might want to implement in your own business.
And marketers have something called a swipe file, where they see something that's awesome, but they don't know how to quite incorporate it. They put it into this swipe file. I'm swiping this idea, and I'm going to basically, when I come down to, all right, let's brainstorm a campaign, they start going through that. I like elements of that. I like elements of that. I like the size of that font. I like that layout. I like that web page design. And then they put it together in their own voice, their own brand, and their own kind of uniqueness, and come up with their own campaign that other people thought was great. It's just kind of like a compilation of the greatest hits to continue the music metaphor to create an album versus creating a whole album of your own.
That's good. I really appreciate extended analogies. So.
And I'm not even musically inclined, so coming with the musical references.
But you know what an album is, so that was...
Yes, CDs, LPs, or something like that.
All right. Anything else to add on this one?
No, I do like the fact that they are watching what people are doing and are aware of, good ideas and trying to find inspiration, and that they should just keep searching. Things will come.
Cool. Well, thanks for the question. And for any of you out there who have questions of your own, head on over to floattanksolutions.com. That's our website. There's lots of other cool stuff there, too. But floattanksolutions.com/podcast is where you can send in your own questions that we'll answer just like this, if not better.
Exactly.
Thanks, everyone.